Hello and welcome once again to the Dr. Zeero Free Magic Secret Show, where we investigate all forms of magic. And today we're going to be talking about Apocalyptic Witchcraft. It's a book by an author named Peter Gray. Now, I actually haven't read this whole book, so I can't really speak for the entirety of it, obviously. But the style, some people would find pretentious or pompous because the writer writes like he's Lautréamont writing Meldor, if you know that reference. Something like that meets like the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland. And he's leading you through his poetic way of describing everything. Now, I read a bunch of reviews talking about how this book was problematic. You can look into those yourself if you want. I really don't know what to say. I can't make an opinion or judge it because I have not read it yet. But I did want to read the introduction because even as over-the-top poetic as it may be, it still hit a fancy little nerve with me. So anyway, if you want to look into it, it's called Apocalyptic Witchcraft by Peter Gray. And I'm just going to start right here. The initial start, it's called Exordium. Apocalyptic Witchcraft is written in the twilight of an age. It is a book which dares to prophecy. It is a new vision of an old way, but does no violence to tradition, treading as it does the paths of ancestry. This is an infusion of energy and movement. It is a witchcraft for those who know that the wheel of the year has broken from the spokes of the seasons. It does not ask for belief, adherence, or followers. This is my parthesia, and it simply asks that you listen. This is a perilous book, and one which does not aim to please. We need neither the permission of God nor man for what we do. Witchcraft casts its glamour through these pages, but it will not be prettified. The sickle moon cuts, the curse harms, the wound bleeds. Without these there is no life in witchcraft. Not all is baleful. We celebrate the healing growth, the joy of existence, and the matchless ecstasies of the Sabbath, whose tarnished meaning is patiently revealed. It is a lunar mystery, a woman's secret kept by the very devil himself. This is not a how-to book or a compendium of folk remedies, nor is it a list of rituals for you to follow, nor strictly history. These have their place, yet my aim is stranger. I am not another would-be king of the witches. I give myself no titles. This is a naked proposition put before you to read again the truths that give meaning to all these things. To ask, what is it that underlies the pattern of our magic? What is the essence of witchcraft itself? Neither is this an easy book, though the ideas are simple enough, and they need to be expressed in the language of magic as poetry. We must not forget that poets are at the sharp and bloody end of struggle. I will name the poets whose work lies behind my approach. Robert Graves, Peter Redgrove, and Penelope Shuttle, and Ted Hughes. You may not know all their names or works. No matter, this is not a book about poetry, a marginalized art in its own right, but a book about witchcraft. These writers dared to confront the body of the witch, and from their work and those they have inspired, notably Chris Knight, I have been able to draw the entire mythic landscape into sharp relief. This is no small claim. I have found a meaning and a myth which has the power to reignite witchcraft, a mythic structure which does not ask to overturn adherence to any given path or violate any vows, but can send the fire surging through all of our limbs. Ultimately, this dangerous thesis counsels unity and brokers a truce. For that reason, some will choose to reject it out of hand. I have avoided archaic-sounding language, ermine-trimmed as it often is with unfounded claims. My path is narrow and speaks directly to the heart. This can be frightening for those who confuse style with substance. I hope that this work demonstrates both, as I frankly acknowledge my sources, crediting the academics, anthropologists, and archaeologists who lend their rigor and discipline to my argument, and the writers, artists, and poets whose augury is sought when the doves and crows take flight, as they must. I have provided a select bibliography for further research, eschewing footnotes, as I find that they break the flow of the text. I have the freedom to write more polemically than if I was imprisoned in the ivory tower of the academy, but do not have their resources. If I have taken liberties with ideas, then the mistakes are mine. If my writing is more ragged on the wing than the writers who precede me, I answer that it can still fly. If this work is needful of more time, I confess it is a luxury none of us possess. My wish is that readers find new avenues of inspiration from these sources and enrich their practice with them. Time is of the essence now. In my undertaking, I have chosen words carefully, not as a surgeon who arrays his instrument to dissect a cadaver under unblinking light, but as a thief who works in the dark. This work needs skillful fingers and quick wits. It is, as Jean Genet insists, a lover's art. My tools are those of instinct and of craft, honed by observation and application. Some may appear curious at first sight, but like the fine locked words of the troubadours, they are fashioned for a purpose. Understand that this is not like any book on witchcraft you have ever read before. I hope that it is all the better for it, so I make this request of the reader. Follow the order of the book, as it is designed to open in a particular fashion. There is a peculiar logic at play. I have knelt at the threshold of this slim-waisted Judas gate, this hourglass filled with night, and found a way through the void between evening and morning star. Or perhaps, as is often the case with this work, I have been compelled, drawn through in spite of myself, listening to the sub-audial whisper of my mistress who wants the door to yield. I do not present this book as a key, for keys contain no art. At best, I have left the door to the labyrinth ajar. My lineage is simple enough. It is revealed as the record of my work. My pen is a spear thrusting after dreams. This is not a sequel to the Red Goddess. It is better considered as its secret heart. I have walked further now. My understanding has deepened and become all the more potent for it. Whereas I sought to destroy the exclusive and excluding language of magic in that book, this one is a more literary undertaking. There is a poem within this work, too, a series of 10 hymns to Inanna, for reasons that will become apparent, and for other reasons still hidden to me. I did not expect the answer which I would receive when I sought the goddess of witchcraft. The task was given to me. Apocalyptic witchcraft is the revealing, the uncovering of woman, and the subject of Salome's famous dance. Such an act has consequences for both the dancer and those who would watch but not partake. You will recognize that I have written of the goddess who slakes herself on semen and blood, she who proclaims herself finis, that this is the end, she who is the lust, the urge, the hunger, the most heightened state of life and death. Like the opposer, she lures, she seduces, she lies, and ultimately kills, but not without purpose. Witchcraft is not a disjointed set of actions, but has meaning, substance, flesh. Like the soul, this book has coagulated from menstrual blood. My argument hunts from the caves of our prehistory, through the Fertile Crescent, clots in the incubation chambers of Patmos, bursts as a nightmare in Europe, and dreams itself into an apotheosis on the Sabbath Mount. It challenges us to be the witchcraft of our own time, for us to gain control of dreaming, of our lost land, of the body. It gives us back the broken myth in a form of devastating beauty and renewed relevance. This work comes out of the lasting friendship of those in a wide variety of witchcraft and magical traditions who have supported my work, and that of Scarlet Imprint. Discretion counsels that they remain unnamed. Here I will name only Alcestis, whose ideas permeate this shared work, the beloved whom I thought would never be found. Without her, not one word of this exists. I would also like to thank the Friends of the Museum of Witchcraft in Boscastle, who allowed me to present the first draft of my Sabbath thesis to them, and to our readers who attended a pleasure dome where the founding essay of this collection was inaugurated. Lastly, I should not forget to thank the doves and crows for the conversations they have shared with me. It has been a long journey back to this beginning. We start now with cymbals and end with thunder. The plow halts, stubborn in the furrow. Above the storm turns as a mill wheel which no devil can arrest. So that is the intro to Apocalyptic Witchcraft by Peter Gray, and you should definitely check it out. That's all we have for the Dr. Zeero Show today. Do hit the subscribe button, post these video places, let people know I exist, and as always, for all you wacky kids out there, here's one rockin' outro just for you. Later, kids.